possible implications now, especially from the point of view of India? How is India watching the situation and assessing it? Any statement that is expected? Are you also speaking to geopolitical experts? I mean, will the superpowers speak up at this point, or will this just go the way that the United States wants to take it?
This is certainly a big development, Suesha. So there is going to be a reaction from Moscow, reaction from Beijing, reaction from even New Delhi as well. But we have to see, we have to wait for that. How the Ministry of External Affairs formulate its statement, if at all there will be a statement, or will there be some informal message which we get from the Ministry of External Affairs. But we have to see what is being played out here. Where will it stop? Because if the way this operation was carried out, this is clearly the way they've carried out the entire theory of finding weapon of mass destruction in Iraq, and then going for Saddam Hussein government, and then destabilizing, or rather removing Saddam Hussein from power. So similarly here as well, a case was made in the name of the drugs and illicit drugs, narcotics, and then now US has already removed the Nicolas Maduro from power. Now we have to see that what they do in the in Venezuela, but there is certainly going to be a reaction on this thing. This will not certainly not go unnoticed or like unresponded. But we have to see that there are various other challenges, because if you see, China is also tied up with the Taiwan conflict. Russia is already, almost 4 years into Russia-Ukraine conflict. They have their own interests. They have their own challenges. Who will stand up to, and for whom? Venezuela is not that powerful, and even there are differences within the Latin American community. And now we have to see that how other Latin American countries, including Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Guyana, and many other countries, how will they react to the situation, and what will be their stand? So there is a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fluxes there in it. But the larger and the bigger message from the United States is that they can go to any extent if you if there is resistance, and if the person or the person who's leading a government of a country is not aligning with their agenda. So this is a big and a clear message from President Donald Trump.
So far, the attacks have been reported in Caracas, Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaria. What is the extent of damage? Civilian casualties have been reported. If yes, what is the death toll like? Any statement from Venezuela?
There are very limited statement from Caracas so far, Suesha, because we do not know the exact extent of damage from the United States. The action carried, sorry, pardon me for that. The action carried out by the United States forces, and even the extent of military power used by the United States are also not been shared by Pentagon or the U.S. Department of War. And if you see the way nomenclature got changed from U.S. Department of War, Department of Defense, U.S. DoD, it has now become U.S. Department of War, and now this is a more aggressive United States. It's more more aggressive military power is being used. So what exactly is the extent of damage? How many people got killed? What is the status of the military leadership of Venezuela? There are still many things unknown, but we have to see how an interim arrangement takes place in Venezuela, and what exactly is being said about President Nicolas Maduro. If US has extracted him, where is he's being taken to, and is he on board the USS Gerald R. Ford, the US aircraft carrier, or is he being transported to any other third country, or will he be brought to the US soil to face charges? Because as you mentioned that he has already been tried and charged in a US court. So clearly now many things are still undecided and yet to get clarity on that. But we have to see how things move in this region, because the politics is very rapidly changing in this region. If this has happened in Venezuela, then there are many other cases which we are also looking at.
Right.
Because if you see yesterday's statement of President Donald Trump, he has put out a message for Iran
Right.
as well,
And
at a time when. Yeah.
right, Pranay, quickly explain to us, because analysts are describing this as the new Monroe Doctrine that the US has taken to. The point being taking the oil of Venezuela, because Venezuela was exporting it to strategic rivals like China, Iran, and Russia. That became the pain point for the United States, and this led to the crisis growing.
This cannot be denied, Suesha. The Venezuelan oil has already for long been an issue of contention between U.S. and Venezuela. And in fact, if you see at one point of time, India was also purchasing oil from Venezuela, but after the before the U.S. imposed sanctions on Venezuelan oil, and we had to get some concession for a while for Venezuela, but now we have stopped buying from Venezuela because of the sanctions only. So Venezuela was already facing sanctions. Venezuela remained a prime source of oil supply for China. So if you see, if Iranian oil gets destabilized, if the Gulf oil supply get restricted, and if the Venezuelan oil supply get restricted for China, then certainly it is going to have a big impact on the Chinese economy, because
Right.
if their energy source is getting impacted, and analysts are already talking about that this is all for the biggest frozen oil reserve of Venezuela, which is up for
Right.
grab now. So now we have to see how the oil politics is being played by the United States.
Pranay, I want to thank you for getting us the latest